Welcome to the stream, everyone. And this one we're going to be showing off how to take Blender models from Blender and be able to get them into Unreal. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to do, so I'm going to open up a file. So I got all of my files of what I've 3D modeled in one folder. And so what we'll do is we'll just work our way around and open up this angled ramp. So this is a model that's going to be going on to the whole entire thing. So what you want to do and hit tab, get out of edit mode. I'm in edit mode, and you want to make sure that you have the object you want selected to render or to export out. So we're going to go export. And for Unreal, it recognizes an FBX format. So at the end of the file, it's going to say .fbx, and you want to make sure that your object is named. Like I have this an angled ramp named. So we're going to go ahead and click FBX. Then what we're going to do is in here, you have a bunch of different things to choose from. And so what we want to do is we don't need to worry about any of this stuff. We do need to worry about geometry. You want faces for smoothing for Blender. That is needed. Okay, apply any modifiers that you put in, so like bevels, smoothing, things like that you want to put in. So you want to make sure that you apply modifiers if you've done any modifications like that. Then the next thing you want to do is in armatures, if you have no bones whatsoever, if it's a static model and it's not like a character or creature or anything like that, and it's not having bone systems, you do not want to add the bones. You won't have that turned on. If you do not have any animations, once again, a static object, so it's a static object that doesn't move, so no cloth, no water, nothing like that, you want to go ahead and turn off baked animations. That is a big thing. And then make sure that your naming is correct. And then you just click export and it's done. So we'll go through this with another model. So I'll go again. We'll open up a model. I'm not going to save this one. We're going to take the, let's see. We'll take the corner. So we got this corner, and it's basically a triangle. It's a part of the model I made to fit in where I want to have an angled shot go in. So it's just a simple triangle piece, untextured. It does have textures to it, but and it's been all UV mapped because if we go in here and you see those red lines, that's where I UV mapped everything. So once again, you just go File, go Export. We want to make sure it's FBX. Once again, we want to make sure that our geometry, we go in here, change this to faces. Then we go into armatures, which is for your riggings, for your skeleton. People animate, you turn that off if it's an inanimate object. And then if there's no animations, turn that off. And then click Save or export. We'll do a third one. Not going to save this. Let's do something a bit more interesting. Let's do a line bumper. So this is the line bumper. As you can see, it has a lot to it, and this is basically where the ball is going to bounce off of it, things like that. We'll go once again into full scale mode like this. We're going to go to File, going to go Export. We want FBX, to go to Geometry, Faces, Armatures. We want that off because there's no skeleton and there's no animations. And then export. do one more. Open. Going to save. And let's find the flipper. So this is the flipper that I built. As many of you have played pinball games, this is the flipper that will hit the one solid mesh piece. Looks really nice. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead, we'll go export. Need FBX again. And go in geometry. We want by faces. And then armatures. We do not want bones. And we do not have any animations. This is reducing your file size and optimizing as much as possible. And then we just go like that. Now, that's 3 of them that we've done. I don't want to take the whole entire stream and just constantly be doing this. So what I'm going to do is I've decided, since the channel is going to be bringing in some RPG stuff, why don't we move along and do some creations of some world maps. Now, there are several ways that you can do creations of world maps. I'm going to go ahead, and one of them is you can bring up, here, I'm going to close this out. You can go to like OpenArt, which is an AI generation one. And it can take some time, but you put in the description of what you're looking for. I've created 3 different ones here that you see. So I can open up this one, and this one's just a very basic one showing some climates and where like desert stuff would be and stuff like that, with some rivers and things like that. And you can use this, or you can put in more descriptions like I did with this one, where I said show the trees, show the mountains, show the hills, and have multiple continents and some islands and show some cities and towns and stuff like that. And so it created this one for me. Then I decided, you know what, I want it to be more hand-drawn feel, so it gave me this one. But let's say you're not wanting to go AI art generated. What you can do instead is you can go into, let's say, programs like Photoshop. And then we're going to go new. And in Photoshop, you can do like paint.net, GIMP, things like that you can do. So let's make this 2000 by 2000. And we're going to go ahead and give it a resolution of 3000 pixels per inch. We'll keep it at RGB. We'll go ahead and click OK. And so this is our area of the map we're working in. With that being said, we can do several things. If you have no idea of, excuse me, let me get something to drink here. Throat's getting dry. There we go. So let's say you have no idea of the type of continents you want to have. You don't know the formations you want to have. You don't know where the islands are going to be, things like that. What you can do is you want to change this to black and white. Then you're going to go to filters. You're going to go noise, or not noise. You're going to go render and diffuse clouds. So let's actually just fill this. We need to have a fill first. So we'll fill this, and we'll filter, render, diffuse clouds. So you get that kind of look, right? And this could somewhat work. And the great thing about doing clouds is whatever carries over here will carry over here. So this has a very seamless look to it, which is really nice. But once you've done that, you can go back to here, and let's say we don't like that cloud. You can just do it again. Okay? And then what we do, we go here, and let's see. we want, where is it? We're looking for not noise. Trying to find layers under adjustment. Here we go. Adjustments. We're going to do the levels. I'll let you do and adjust the levels by doing this. And you see how things change as you bring this up? Then you can go okay. And then let's say we want, I'm going to do a different render. So you can also try clouds too. And do clouds. Try that one. Image. Adjustments. Levels. Bring this in some. You see how that's making it go way more? We don't want it going away as much. And we can take brightness. Have it come in some more. Bring this in some more. Go okay. Then what you can do, take this tool. You can select the areas that you want. Now this one's not really good for it, so I'm going to deselect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work on getting a really good render clouds. Do it again. Not really looking the way I want. So let's go ahead and let's create a new layer. And we'll get rid of this layer. Hit the delete key. Go ahead and do a fill. Let's do our render, because if you do too many sometimes, those lines just really start popping in. This one looks good. We'll go off of this one. Let's go to adjust levels. This in. This in. See how it sort of really closes it up. But so we can do that and then go okay. And then now let's take this. We can click like that one there. Add that one there. Grab this. This is a nice sized one right there. That one there. Grab this one. That'd be a cool little island. Those. Grab that. Let's grab the ones that are not around. You know, you don't want ones around the edges. Grab that. That. Maybe even that. And then what you do, you want to go to your select. You want invert. And then hit delete. So now you have those, right? But they're not a nice color. And that's fine. That's not what we're looking for. So what we're going to do is we're going to go select. We're going to invert one more time. Right? And then we can now go into our colors. So let's say we want to do a bit of green. We want a foresty, nice little green. So we can do that. Then we can do our fill bucket. We can just start filling these in. So we fill in all of these areas. This. And so we got our main stuff right here, right? So we have our islands, right? But there's a problem. We're missing some water. So here, nope, not what I wanted. We'll delete that. I clicked on the wrong thing. So here, we're going to move this back. We're going to change our color sort of a light blue. Like that. I'm going to do a fill. So here's our world, but I want to take this and move it over some. Our move tool. But that doesn't look good. So what we're going to do, undo that move. But here's your basic step. And the great thing is with this is, let's say we go in by 100%. Look at all these little details. You actually have these lakes and things like that. So you got the base formation of what you're looking for in your designs. Now, some people may complain and critique this and say, well, this is not how a world would break up. And they're true about that. So let's go ahead. I'm actually gonna just adjusting the zoom in here. That's a good size. A little bit too much. So let's actually do our zoom in to 40. There we go. Perfect. So if people don't like this, and this is a fantasy world, do what's right for you. Right? And so with this, you can add in things like mountains and stuff like that. So what if we went back to here, we go to our brush, got a brush model that we don't want because we have that. Eyes. This go. That works. I'm gonna do a hard one. Actually, that one looks good. We'll do that one. We have that set up. And then we're 13 pixels. Let's drop this down to 10. Enter. And so what we can do is let's zoom in again to 100. So what we can do is we're going to create another layer with this black. What we're doing, just gonna that not going through as clear as it should. Let's see. No color dynamics. That won't work. We're at 100. We're at 100 there. Size is at 10. Hardness is at 100. Okay. Not wanting to do airbrush. This instead. We'll use that. See if that's still not coming in as dark as I would like it. I want the full color. And pixels, yeah. No. Not giving us the full color. Everything's at 100. But anyways, as I was talking about, what you can do is you can just draw like that. A mountain. Bring this down here. Shade in one side. Do something like that. And then you can add in another mountain here. And just sort of create simple little shapes. Create where your mountain ranges are. And you can use other things too. You can use, let's say, we can go here to shapes, and then we can choose shape that work for what we're wanting for like a town. Not seeing any there. So we're here. Let's go all. Go okay. See what we have. Anything that would represent a town for basic shape. Well, you can find more shapes online, but by default, mine isn't coming up with any. So what we can do, we can use other shapes. We can go ahead and like use this one. And you just click, drag, you can hold shift, keep its size, and you can just mark that as a town. Now, let's say you want something different. Let's say you want like it to be, this is where the headquarters of a kingdom is. You could do something like this, shift, boom, there you go. Now, let's say you want to create rivers. So we're going to go here, choose that color we want for the river. I want that same color. What you can do, so let's create another layer. You can just take this, slowly work in. I'm doing this all by mouse. Slowly work in your rivers. You don't want to have a good solid hand. You want to sort of like go sort of like this, you know, you want to like keep it loose and rigid and stuff like that. So we can go in, define things, that, go along there. And that's another way of doing things. And so you just add things in there like that. Let's say you want to add in and change up some of the colors of stuff. So let's say we want to go here. I'm going to take, let's find a nice big one. Let's take this area right here. What you can do, go here. Let's say we want to make a multi-biome type feel. Let's say I want sort of a deserty type look. Here, okay. And we can take our brush, this brush tool we want. We can just sort of go in, start creating areas that are sandy areas. And this is the one where having this transparency that we're having on now is a good idea. Because I can just go in and just start scribbling away, getting in sort of that deserty look. So, right, and you'll get little patches and stuff like that. So we have that, but let's say you don't want that. Let's say you want more of a snowy area. Like let's say this area is more snowy. And the reason I have this highlighted like this is that when you're doing this, you can go in and you can really just pack it in and get really deep in there. And you notice I am not going out of bounds here. It is not going into the water. And that's where I used that select tool. So let's say this area is just a lot of snow. Slowly blend that in. We get a look like that. So we got that blend in there. And that's how you add in the different areas of things like snow and stuff like that. And when I deselect, hit the right key. No. But for some reason, it just made it disappear. Okay, so we'll do a new one. Let's do that. Go back to our, oh, we need to reset this. Fill here. Render one more time. Use clouds. Got that. Once again, you want to go this. You want to go adjustments, levels. In the levels. The more you bring in the levels, the more it's going to do things. The white that we're mainly focusing on. So we've done that. Once again, select like this area, this area, this area. Like that. Line lines there. Dead. So I'm not liking that much. So let's do another filter, render, clouds. So let's see how it looks, but it's mainly just playing around with it. Bring this. So new layer. Delete this one. Fill. Filter. Render. Let's do clouds this time. Image adjustment levels. And more. Taking an overall look at things. That's mainly island. But you see how I'm playing around with this? Cancel that. Let's try a render. Clouds. Render. Use clouds. Well, anyways, you get the base idea right there. So another way we can do this is you can just do it all by hand. So what you want to do is, first thing you're going to do, you're going to do a fill. Want that watercolor again. Something maybe like that. And let's fill it like this. Then we're going to go to the brush, change our color for green, something like that. And for this one, you want to keep, you want sort of a shaky hand when you do it. So as you saw, I did all that. Let's go ahead and edit. Back step. So for this, let's say, I'm gonna, did that wrong. I'm better with it in a tablet, which I'm still working on getting connected up. I was working on connecting up today, but I realized that I'm missing an adapter. So we have this area here. Let's say, so we got this island created here. What we can do is we can select this and we select that and look at that. It's got that. Well, undo that. And not what we want. Edit. Hitting the wrong keys here. Hit back step. Back step. There we go. Let's say I just want. Let's do it by 10. There we go. So we got that area there. And we can just do a fill. Boom. Do a deselect. And there's our island there that we've created. Okay. And what we can do is go back to our brush. And let's create another island here. Slowly create nation here. So it goes like that. And we once again select here. We got that. Fill. Boom. Deselect. There's another island there. And so that's how you can create your own islands. It's a bit hard in doing with the mouse. You're better off having a tablet. So if you have something like, let's say, an Android tablet or an iPad, something along those lines, or even a graphics tablet. Graphics tablet will be the best because the graphics tablet will actually get you pressure sensitivity. And the great thing with pressure sensitivity is you can have it go from thin line to thick line, which is great for creating those rivers. Because basically when you press very lightly, you'll get a very thin line. And then as you start slowly pressing harder, it will get thicker and thicker. And so you can create the thickness of your rivers as you make them. Whereas with a regular tablet, such as an Android tablet or an iPad, they don't have that as good of pressure sensitivity, even if they do have it. And I recommend like a Wacom tablet, a Huron tablet. Those are the two that I recommend. That is if you're going to go the graphical way. And so you can do that, and you can spend your time actually creating all of your graphics more. But like I said, if you're not really into doing that, you do have the option of doing this way, where you can put in the description of what you're looking for. Because as you can see in this one, there's multiple biomes that we have here. We have mountains with snow on them. We have some forest. We have a bunch of stuff. We have an area here with desert with very little trees. We have an area where it's somewhat desert, and then it slowly moves into mountains on that one. In this one, once again, rocky areas here, and you have a little bit of a desert area here. You got a lot of desert area here. You have some lakes here. You have a bit of a river here. But AI generation, the more information you give it, the more it will conform to your idea. So you're really going to have to write out a lot in your description to get it exactly how you want. The less you give it, the more freedom you're giving it. Like this one, I gave it very little information, so it gave it a lot of freedom of what to do. And then this one, I really constrained it down more, and so it gave me this design. I said I want to see mountains, I want to see hills, I want to see different climates, I want to see forests, I want to see cities and things like that. And then this one, I kept all that in, but I said I wanted to make it look hand painted, and instead of saying I want to see different climates, I said I want to see different biomes. And so that's how that worked out. Let's go ahead and let's go back to doing the exporting of the 3D models for any new viewers out there who are just catching in. So we're going to go here, we're going to go open, and then we're going to do floor test 2. Okay, so that's the corner floor. I've already done that one in sort of prepping for this. We're going to go open. We're going to go ahead and do corner floor. So this is the corner floor that I've created. And that's where, when, if you were watching earlier, that little triangle piece could fit into this corner area. So once again, I have one warning, right, which is just this model, because if I hide this, you notice there's an issue. So what we need this turned on. We want this and this. These are the two that we're wanting. Again, turn that off. And we're going to go to File, Export. We want FBX. We want to go to Geometry. We want Faces. For the geometry, you don't want it on the other one. And we want no bones and no animations, because this does not have animations. We just hit export. It goes in. Let's go ahead and go open. We're not going to save. And go to this one. We're going to open this up, and this is the ball. And I created this from a sphere. I've shown this in previous ones on creating it by a sphere. So let's go File, Export, FBX. Once again, do not want this on that. We want it on Faces. Do not need any bones. We do not need animation. We click that. Then we want to go to Open. Let's do a third one. Let's do this ramp. So this is ramping up. So we want this one, this, and go File, Export, go FBX, want Faces. Do not need the bone system. We do not need the animation. We're going to do export. Now, let's bring this all into Unreal. So we got the Unreal Engine here. Give it a moment to load up an Unreal Engine. We'll actually close out this. Give it a moment to bring up Unreal. Takes a moment because, well, it's a game engine. It's got a lot to load up to bring things up. Takes a few moments. Part of the process when you start things up sometimes is you just have to wait patient. There we go. So we got that one open. Oh, here's our stuff. Okay, we got the shooter. Of course. Okay, we know we have the flippers. Do there. Okay, we want that, and then let's find the flipper. We'll do import all. Voila. Here's our flipper. We actually drag this in. This is what the flipper looks like. So the flipper is fully in there. I can go ahead and hit delete, get rid of that. We got the flipper in there. And then we did some bumpers. Let's go ahead and import the bumpers. We did the where is it? Called it the let's bring in this bumper. So it brought it in two parts. So literally have to bring this in. Let's hit F to zoom in on it. And then we have this part that we need to bring in. Adjust this up, over, voila. So that bumper's in. The great thing is we can adjust this to go down some. So that bumper's all in. All right. Then we can go to field. Right click, import. Take in floor, import, and so there's those. So we just this, drag them in, up, F, and there is the floor the way we need it. Just like we can take this one, drag it in, we'll hit F, that. As you see, we have all the different parts. Those all came in good. Got all the floors. Put the ball's already in there. And we can pull this in. It's having some issues. I'll work on that later. But that's basically how you import things in. And it makes it very, very easy. Because then we can also take, like, for instance, this one. We have this flooring. We have this. So if we do right click here. Oh, we're in ball. I don't want ball. We want field. Okay, so we have this one here. Right click, import assets. What we're looking for, non-model, we're looking for a texture. And we got all of these textures here. Right? So what we're looking for import that. Import that. And see, you can import textures too. And then we can just drag this, that. And voila, there's that texture. Then let's go ahead and do import the fairway grass. Import. Okay, so we have the fairway grass now. Take that, put down there. Shift. As you can see, we got all of our textures in. So you actually have a textured model here. And you can play around with the glossiness and things like that. But overall, that's the look of the model. It doesn't have a bump map to it yet, but we can add a bump map, normal maps, things like that to it. But it's all in there, just like this here. We have this here. If I were to go here, go import, looking for that specific one, have a texture for it. I do not. So let's go to here. Oh, we can do the flipper. Let's take the flipper, drag it into the world, pull it up some, hit F, so we're on the flipper, bring in the textures for the flipper. Flipper texture. Import. Take that, throw it onto that. There is our flipper texture. All nice and done. And we can do the same thing for, let's say, if we go to the ball. Bring the ball in. Drag that up. Then we go import. For ball. If I can here, all these buttons access that on. But I have ball texture, but I don't. that, got that. But we have other textures that we can utilize. So overall, that's pretty much what we have. And I think that looks really, really good. Actually, let's bring in... Let's go bumpers. I'm going to bring in the... I'm going to go models. Okay, let's try that again. Import. Left bumper. Import all. Okay. Okay, so that's that piece. This. That piece. As you can see, there's that. We have that, and then let's say right click, import, go back to our textures. That was the left one. Left bumper. Open that texture. Drop it onto that. Round. Go up a bit. And as you can see, it has the texture on it. All nice and textured. And of course, we can also always scale it up, things like that. We could take this, take that, scale it up. That way you can see the actual texture on it. Nope, not that. That's what we want. The band. As you can see, there's the textures. Let's actually back onto that. So there's the texture on that one. You can see, we got some metal on there, plastic, it's got a really nice sort of look to it. And gone along that way. Just like how we have the texture on this. And then the flooring that I showed you. Here somewhere probably. But yeah. Overall, really good. And sizing on some of this is a little bit off, but we can always adjust that. Overall, that is how you import and put in textures. And you notice on the details on this, look at that grime smudges and stuff like that. Really, really nice. adds a lot to it. Same with, oh, that's why. You know, when we go in here, you look in close, look at that wood texture. Get up, getting close on this. That grass has sort of a slight grass texture. You know, could add in more of a grass texture, things like that. But overall, that's how you export things from Blender and then import things into Unreal. And so these textures that I put in, PNG works, JPEGs work. I prefer PNGs just because they have a better format and they have a transparency to certain areas that you may need areas, and it just works better in PNGs. So overall, I hope you found that helpful and enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys all for watching and have a great day.